If you don't think that you have the right to speak out against oppression or something that is happening to you based on your gender, then you are still a victim. So GBV is violence directed against a person because of that person's gender, or violence that affects persons of a particular gender disproportionately. GBV is actually the umbrella under which DV and IPV sits. IPV is intimate partner violence, so to speak. In this country, 1 in every 3 women will be adversely affected by abuse or GBV. Our local statistics supports this, and the increase in reports of GBV and applications for protection orders increased significantly during the pandemic. Bear in mind that a lot of incidents go unreported or underreported, so the numbers could be even more. And it's even more underreported due to stigma and shame in cases of abuse against men by a female partner. As far as breaking the silence, this has come about because I think a lot more persons are speaking out now compared to years ago. And the reason for that is because of the advancement of technology. One, what the UN has been doing in terms of raising the standards of eliminating domestic violence, eliminating GBV against women and girls. The 16 days of activism has played a large part in doing that, as well as the variety of platforms that persons have used to speak out against domestic violence. The community has a part to play with it too, because persons are now recording and sending out these recordings so that in the event of an incident, someone knows. Victims and survivors are also being more in tune, and more awareness has been raised as far as the agencies and as far as means of getting help to get out. There's still a lot of work to be done, because breaking the silence actually calls for a larger voice. It calls for unity. It calls for a network of protection around the victim or survivor. It calls for more survivor-friendly laws and policies and programs, but I can tell you that it is happening. There are organizations that are quietly doing the work behind the scene. I have been privy to being part of some of these workshops, so I want victims to know that it is happening. Your voices can be heard and the silence can be broken, and that you are not alone. Abuse thrives in silence. It literally grows in silence. And for this year's 16 Days of Activism, the Color Me Orange campaign asks the question, do you hear her? For a reason, because that's what is needed. More voices to be raised and heard. If abuse can thrive in silence, then we can beat it at its own game. The UN declared in 2018 orange as the color representative of the fight to eliminate violence against women and girls. Orange is a loud color. It shouts. People notice my orange and they ask, why are you always in orange? It's your favorite color. It's an opening for me to share and encourage others to take up the mantle and fight alongside the thousands of human rights activists, fighting daily, whether through a document, a law, new programs, policies, walks, marches, protests, symposiums, workshops, establishing standard operating procedures, mobilization, etc. It is happening. The UN coined the phrase orange the world, and I knew that the color would be able to shake people to their core. Orange says, I won't be silenced anymore. And if I can't speak, I wear my banner in my hair, on my body, on my feet, on my arms, but I will be seen, and effectively I will be heard. Silence is manipulated out of victims due to control, isolation, and fear. These factors act as a muzzle, towards freedom, and allows perpetrators to keep victims from transitioning into survivors. It's actually contradictory to say silence of survivors, because if you think survivor, you don't think silence. If you can't speak out against an injustice, you are in fact still a victim. If you can't, if you don't think that you have the right to speak out against oppression or something that is happening to you based on your gender, then you are still a victim. You have not come into the mindset of a survivor or the space of a survivor if you feel that you still have to remain silent. If you or anyone you know is being controlled, is being silenced into submission, and you know you've seen any sign or form that that person is not comfortable in a situation they're in terms of a relationship, whether it's living in or visiting, then you can be the voice for that person. Because the mindset of a victim is often that because they're controlled into silence, often by fear and isolation, then it means they cannot speak for themselves. If you are a victim and you feel that way and you know that you want to get out, there is help. You can call the various hotlines, 800 SAVE. You can contact the Coalition Against Domestic Violence, the TTPS, the Gender Based Violence Unit, the Victim and Witness Support Unit, and you can literally go into any police station. All of the units that I would have called, the GBV unit, the Victim and Witness Unit, they are attached to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, and the help can be given to you. A call to action that I would ask any victim or someone who knows a victim and knows that they're afraid to try to speak out: wear your orange. On November the 25th is the start of the 16 days of activism against GBV. It goes until December the 10th, which is World Human Rights Day. During that period, I would like to ask persons to wear an item of orange and tag and share and utilize social media in a way that can bring about change, positive change, that you too can be your own agent of change in your own small or large way. On that day, on November the 25th, wear something orange and speak out. You don't even have to say a word.